Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about crypto and economics and lots of other things, sometimes in multiple different orders. As always, a free way you can support this channel, hit the like button, turn on the notification button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you haven't already. And just a friendly reminder, we have member-only live streams on this channel every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And channel members get early access to my videos because I like to make them the day before and publish them every day at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. So lots of benefits to join this channel as a member. But otherwise, let's go ahead and dive on into this. And I want to remind you again, okay, where do I stand as to where things are going? I believe that Bitcoin will peak at $80,000 sometime in 2024. And I believe if you were to have me guess as to when we'll break a new all-time high for Bitcoin, I think it's going to be sometime in October. So October will be a good month. November will be a good month. Who knows about the elections? Don't even want to comment on that right now. I got banned on TikTok because of that. Anyway, December could be a good month. And then maybe even early 2025. I know there's plenty of people who think the first quarter of 2025 is when things are going to explode. I'm not opposed to that. But personally, I believe that Bitcoin will hit $80,000 and then Bitcoin's dominance will drop, which means altcoins will do very well. And then I think 2025 is going to be an incredibly difficult year. And I'll get into that in a second here, but I do want to say this because people have been asking me, are you sure about $80,000? And I want to make two statements here. Statement number one, $80,000 is a loosely held position. Could we go to $100,000? Could we go to $120,000? Sure. And I really hope we do, because the higher Bitcoin goes, the stronger an alt season would be. But my conviction, on the other hand, with 2025 is a very, very strong conviction. Okay, I am quite convinced that 2025, and that most people are saying November of 2025 is going to be when Bitcoin peaks well over six figures, that Bitcoin is going to be lower than where it is now, and that's actually going to be a great time to buy and load up for what I think is going to be an incredibly bullish move for Bitcoin. But anyway, I've shared that perspective a lot, and I know that there is just this nauseating reaction that some of you are going to get because you've never heard something like this before. But I have shared on this channel lots and lots of data pointing you, and I'm begging you, I feel like you're on the Titanic and I'm offering you a life raft, but you think that the Titanic is going to all of a sudden add rocket boosters and go to the moon or something, and I'm telling you it's going to the bottom of the sea, and then it'll go from the bottom of the sea to the moon, but you'll be dead. I mean, not really, but anyway. Okay, so I want to remind you of those things in a second, all of the data that I'm presenting, but what I want for this video is to present you something new, okay? And then time permitting, we'll get into some of those other factors that I'll rehash. Okay, so what's the new thing? A channel. I'm going to post some things on my right, your left. No, you're right too, now that I'm thinking about it. On both of our right, that's weird, a chart. But first, I want to tell you, somebody linked to a YouTube video in my X account. I watched the video, and it was even further confirmation to me that I just think Bitcoin's not going to go all that much higher than its previous all-time high. And that was a video by Crypto Crew University. Really just insanely logical, like kind of annoyingly logical channel. And there's been times that I've watched his videos and I've not liked what he said, and then he ended up being right. I'm thinking particularly of 2021. And so in his most recent video, as of the day that I'm making this video, he talks about the Gaussian channel. Now, I'm going to put a chart right here showing Bitcoin's 5-day chart and the Gaussian channel. And so here's what happens historically. Bitcoin makes an aggressive move higher, and it blows above that green section, the Gaussian channel. And then when it comes down to the Gaussian channel, he calls that quicksand, because what happens is that Bitcoin just gets sucked into the Gaussian channel and then gets sucked below the Gaussian channel. So we've entered the Gaussian channel on the 5-day chart. And historically, every time that has happened, we have had a period of at least, I think, 300 days, check it in the video, at least 300 days where it takes Bitcoin to recover before breaking back above the Gaussian channel. You can look at historic data, and I want to point out one in particular, which I think is the one that's going to play out, and that's the 2021, the time in 2021 that we entered the quicksand, the Gaussian quicksand. But there was a time in 2019, 2018, before then 2013, and then 2011, 2012. So actually not 2013, 2014. But anyway, we enter the Gaussian channel. It is a long bearish period that comes afterward, except for one time. And that one time is 2021. Because when we entered the Gaussian channel, the Gaussian quicksand in 2021, what we saw, let me actually put that up here right now. Okay. What we saw was a higher high, a recovery rally, but it was just barely a new all-time high. You know, Bitcoin peaked at $64,900 in the spring, the second quarter of 2021, and then in November of 2021 peaked at $69,000, and it was over. And so I think that's what's going to happen this time around, that we will repeat 2021, put in a new all-time high. $80,000 is my number. $80,000 all-time high, and then have about a year where things are quite bearish, and then it'll be time to buy. And after that, epic bull run, especially for Bitcoin, and hopefully altcoins can come along. But I think Bitcoin's dominance is going to go to something like 80% as it goes to well into the six-figure territory. Okay, so that might not be something you want to hear, but this is another example. Gaussian channel, 5-day chart. You can look it up for yourself. When we enter the quicksand takes us. And so we can bounce, we can go higher. I believe we will go higher, but it's another piece of evidence showing that this epic bull run that everyone is expecting may not play itself out the way that a lot of people think it's going to play itself out. Now, difference between this time and 2021 is that in 2021, Bitcoin's dominance had already bottomed out. This time around, I think Bitcoin's dominance will bottom out, and so we will see a nice altcoin rally. But your takeaway from this, if you have ears that you are willing to hear this, is to get aggressive in taking profits, especially as you see all the signs that I've pointed you to. The Russell 2000 breaking out above its 786 retrace, the total 2 crypto market cap breaking above a 702 retrace. The Bitcoin's dominance plummeting, taking the elevator down. That's a good sign that it's about time to exit. Okay, I expect all those things to come, especially with the belief that most crypto holders have that 2025 is going to be this exciting year, this epic year that gives us a lot of time. They can be our exit liquidity. Okay, and I'm quite convinced that those who are expecting a peak in 2025, a massive blow off top towards the end of 2025, are going to get wrecked. Okay, so I have about a minute and a half. I try to keep these videos almost exactly 10 minutes. Let me share with you the other pieces of evidence. Do yourself a favor, look at the monthly MACD chart. Look at what happens when the MACD exits the overbought territory, and then compare what I'm presenting to you in this video to 2021. Some of you have already seen that in other videos that I've made. So monthly MACD. Look at what happens historically whenever we lower rates. After we raise rates and we pause and then we lower rates, every time since 1955, we enter a recession. The SAHM rule, look up the SAHM rule, SAHM, that has been triggered every time we enter a recession. And then the yield curve inversion, we have had the longest yield curve inversion in history. Every time the yield curve goes back to its regular level, which would make sense that the 2-year would provide lower returns than the 10-year, every time we enter a recession, the evidence that we will enter a recession in 2025 is abundantly in favor of entering a recession. So be prepared for what's to come. Okay, it's up to you. All right. Can we have this big blow off top in early 2025? Maybe. But next year, very high conviction that this time next year, things are going to be lower. All right, that's all I have for today. Have a good one. Wonderful day. Peace.